And today we have a very, very, very special guest, Gabriela Castillo. Did I say your name right, Gabby?
That's right. That's perfect.
I can't wait. So, Gabriela is a Nicaraguan Canadian, completely bicultural and bilingual, split right down the middle. She identifies as business entrepreneur, family woman, and heartfelt admirer of the natural beauty of the people and settings of Nicaragua. Nicaragua is a small country with enough biodiversity to quench almost any person's need for wanderlust and travel in a small country, roughly the size of Rhode Island without the snow. The people of Nicaragua enjoy lakes, the Pacific and Caribbean Oceans, volcanoes, a rich history full of drama that has embedded this wonderful culture of extending a hand to helping thy neighbor whenever possible. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
so we're sitting here in Connecticut, right? It's a little gloomy here today, but we love it here. And I can't help but look at your gorgeous view. What are we looking at?
Well, that is actually the Pacific Ocean. That is the Bay of San Juan del Sur. If you see right there, that's the little Christ statue that the bay is known for. And it's just a tourism spot. It's actually really interesting. The history of this town is actually the original connection between the Pacific and the Caribbean for the gold rush before the Panama Canal existed. So this is a very historic town we have right here, and there was a train track that connected us, San Juan del Sur proper, to the Lake of Nicaragua, and then the Lake of Nicaragua has a river out towards the Caribbean coast, and so that's how people traveled back in the day before the Panama Canal. For me, as a realtor, you probably understand what it's like. It's run, right?
Yeah.
Run. Catch up early in the morning or late at night, right? But the big differences that I see between you guys, from the little I know about your day-to-day life, is that here it's easy for me to hire people to help me clean a house. So I never have to clean a house. It's easy for me to hire a photographer. It's easy for me to hire a chauffeur to go pick up my clients at the airport. I don't have to do a lot of things that are super time consuming, because it's very easy for me to find somebody else to help me do that here, and it's cost effective. But my day-to-day life, I'd say, wake up in the morning, work, drop off my girls at school, make sure they're ready, of course, right? During the day, I'm in the morning usually taking care of things, because I run two businesses. I help run a small hotel, not so small, but I help run a hotel. Ever since we started really like doubling down on our online presence and what have you, we realized that as soon as it snowed somewhere, our clicks from that area just like skyrocketed. And so definitely the weather is one of the huge attractive things for this area. Another thing, and realistically, it's how price sensitive people are, and they think of all of the places in Central America, and they think Nicaragua is going to be more affordable, and in many cases it is. And also just like day-to-day life is much more affordable here than in other locations as well, as long as you acclimate a little bit to the local lifestyle. And specifically what I mean in that case is air conditioning. You want to live in air conditioning all day long, it's going to be expensive. This is not a place where you're going to enjoy yourself if you're in air conditioning and then coming out every day.
And the quick thing on the wet, dry, and windy, is there humidity or is it more like rain?
We do have humidity, nothing like Miami or DC. Those are the places that I can refer to, because Miami and DC, it is moist out there.
It is legit.
I can't do that. For us, we have rain, our tropical, since we have the trade winds. That's why we include windy in our weather patterns, because we have the trade winds. And so since the trade winds come across from the Caribbean towards the Pacific, it hits us like dead on, like perfectly. And those winds usually, it's just high winds, and it's almost like a windstorm. Like all of a sudden you get this like flush of wind and then it dies down. And when it comes with, it's basically the same thing with rains. Like all of a sudden it'll rain cats and dogs for like 15-20 minutes, and then it's like sunny out. So our rainy season is flash rains. Like it comes very rarely. Do we get rain for a day? Well, recently most of the houses here are between 250 and 400 in this particular area. That's US dollars. That's usually a 2 to 4 bedroom home, depending on the location. Usually what drives the price is proximity to the beach itself, or the water, so to speak, the town, proximity to town, and any of the utilities. So you guys have water, power, roads as a given, right? Like the developer is going to put those in, it's required. That's not so here. Like you can buy a piece of property, have an acre, and you'll have to put your own road in to get it. And you'll have to bring in your own water system and what have you. So this is a lot more almost like, what is it? Like you can easily create a homesteading system here. There's very few rules and regulations in terms of what you can or cannot do on your property, especially if you're not in what's considered urban, like the little town that you see there. Yeah, most of the houses that are for purchase and are vacational. So they're set up for vacation rental purposes. And people usually buy them either to live full time or to live part time and then rent out part time as well. Locally, what we have done is we've helped people find a way to invest their 401k. Or let's not say 401k because there's specific ones that you can use and specific ones that you cannot use. But you're able to use your tax deferred savings essentially to invest here in Nicaragua. And there's ways to be able to do that. So that's one of the options that we've seen that people have taken advantage of recently quite a bit. And then there's also different international banking systems that will provide financing. They usually ask for anywhere between 20 to 50% down on whatever it is that you're purchasing. And the term can be up to a maximum of 10 years. The rates usually vary anywhere between like 9 and 11% for the specific banks that I'm thinking of currently, at least. And what they do is that they hold the title to your property, because about 90% of the properties that we sell here at Remax in San Juan del Sur are fee simple title. So they're not concession. You don't have any other contracts with the government other than paying your yearly tax in our community. Like here, we all it's a small community. So it's like 18,000 people. We all kind of know each other. Like I know people who, the cemetery is very close by. So if somebody's going to die, you usually find out. And we didn't see much happening. Yeah, there were some deaths, of course, but it wasn't an incredible amount. And so we had these people asking what's going on. We're like, seems fine. We're all home. It seems fine, and everybody's like, well, isn't it crazy down there? And we're like, it's not crazy right now. Maybe it will be, but it's not right now. And we just kept, like, I don't know, it seems fine to a certain extent. And then people were like, okay, I want to go to Nicaragua. And we're like, well, you've never been here. How could you want to come? And they're like, I'm coming. They actually took chartered flights, like private chartered flights from Mexico to Nicaragua to get here, families transported their whole family. They're like, I'm coming to Nicaragua. Sight unseen, moving to Nicaragua full time. And I was like, wow, those guys are gutsy.
I could see that it's just very relaxing, right? Beautiful, into nature, and just peaceful to a degree, right? Would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's a really good spot. I can tell you this little town has transformed since I moved here in 2005. There were 2 places to go check your email back in 2005, the whole town. Now there's Wi-Fi. Like even sometimes the government will put up like Wi-Fi in the park and get free Wi-Fi in the park, but pretty much everyone has Wi-Fi either on their phones or in their house or in businesses. Everybody has Wi-Fi now. Little things that you don't appreciate until you look back, right?
Yeah, for real.
Wrong way, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious.
Another thing that's really important for people to understand is, yes, it's a Spanish speaking country. There's a fairly large expat community, but as long as you're willing to try and speak Spanish, your whole experience here will improve dramatically. The country, the people of Nicaragua are very easy to hang out with. We all, like, Nicaraguans love seeing people from different parts of the countries, and they're like, oh, where are you from? People are really nice, and there's a lot of eye contact, which a lot of people are not comfortable with. But here it's like, you're taught as a kid, when you're talking to somebody, look at them in the eye, So everybody here will like stare you down, like when they're talking to you. Little things like that as long as you understand when you're coming in, you won't feel intimidated or uncomfortable, or you just know, that things are a little bit different here, but not so much that it's going to make you completely uncomfortable. So, if you want something different and new, this is a good place to try it out. We have a ton of culture. You know, our food, our music, the people are really nice. And like I said, we have our own background and our own history here, but it's actually made the people better.